Welcome to the Stoic Golden Tribe, where enduring wisdom meets the strength of presence, and where we uncover the truths modern society refuses to teach men. There's a silence in the hearts of many men, one that's been misunderstood, ignored, or labeled as weakness. When it comes to relationships, men are often expected to be protectors, providers, and pillars of strength, but few stop to ask, what does a man truly want in return? The truth is, what men actually want in a relationship is far deeper than just loyalty or physical intimacy. It's something 75% of women overlook, not out of malice, but because society has conditioned them to believe men don't feel, don't yearn, don't break. But they do, quietly, powerfully, constantly. In this video, we're going to break the silence. We'll explore 4 deeply honest truths about what men truly seek in a relationship. Truths that are rarely spoken, but deeply felt. This isn't about blaming women, it's about clarity, understanding, and empowerment for men who have suffered in silence and for the women who truly want to love them right. Expect realistic examples, ancient wisdom, emotional depth, and powerful insight that will change the way you think about masculine love forever. So if you're a man who's tired of being misunderstood, or a woman who truly wants to understand the heart behind the armor, this is your moment. Make sure to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the Stoic Golden Tribe for more unapologetic truth and timeless guidance. And don't forget, drop a comment below. We read every single one. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Respect, the oxygen of masculinity. In the quiet spaces between a man's words lies a need more powerful than affection, more vital than praise, respect. For most men, respect is love, spoken in a language they can actually feel. Without it, even the warmest gestures can feel hollow. While modern culture celebrates emotional expression, rightfully so, it often fails to grasp that a man's emotional core is deeply tied to how he is perceived by the woman beside him. He doesn't just want to be loved, he wants to be admired, trusted, and believed in. A man can go through hell and back at work, fight battles the world will never see, and still feel like he's failing if the one he loves constantly questions his worth, criticizes his decisions, or subtly undermines his efforts. Let me give you a real-world example. Imagine a man who works 12-hour shifts just to provide. He misses meals, sleeps less, and carries stress like armor. But when he comes home, instead of hearing "thank you" or "I'm proud of you," he hears "you're always tired" or "why can't you do more around the house?" He won't argue, he'll nod, he'll say, "it's fine." But inside, a piece of him withers. Not because he needs praise, but because what he truly needed was respect for the sacrifice he made. As the ancient Roman philosopher Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." And for many men, time spent trying to prove themselves in a relationship where respect is absent feels like life slipping through their hands. Ladies, understand this. When a man feels respected by you, he'll walk through fire to protect you, to serve you, to elevate you. But when he feels constantly doubted or belittled, he may stay physically. But emotionally, he starts to disappear. And men, listen closely. Do not chase love where respect does not live. Your worth is not negotiable. It is not earned through overextending yourself. It's in how you carry your silence, your purpose, your presence. Respect doesn't always come from grand gestures. Sometimes it's as simple as saying, "I trust your judgment. I believe in what you're building. I appreciate what you do, even when no one sees it." When a woman gives a man that kind of respect, it awakens something ancient within him. The protector, the builder, the lover, it gives him a reason to rise. But when it's missing, the relationship becomes a slow death of the soul. Comment below, have you ever felt unseen despite everything you gave? Or ladies, have you realized how powerful respect is to the man in your life? Chapter 2. Peace over chaos. The sanctuary a man longs for. There's a silent war many men fight each day, a war against pressure, judgment, and the invisible expectation to be strong, no matter what. he walks into the world with a composed face and a heavy heart. And what he wants more than anything when he comes home is peace. Not just silence, not just the absence of noise. Emotional peace. A sanctuary where he doesn't have to be on guard. A space where his soul can breathe. That's what most men want, but rarely say. A relationship that brings him peace, not more battles. The world already demands so much. Deadlines, competition, financial strain, and unspoken rules of masculinity. But when his relationship becomes another battlefield, filled with constant drama, passive-aggressive comments, and emotional unpredictability, he begins to shut down. Men don't often speak out when they're overwhelmed. They retreat, they disconnect, they become ghosts in their own homes. A man will stop sharing not because he doesn't care, but because every word he says becomes twisted into a new argument. He will stop trying, not out of pride, but out of exhaustion. Emotional conflict for men is like drowning in a sea with no shore in sight. Take this example. A man named Daniel works as a firefighter. Every day, he puts his life at risk. He's seen people die. He's pulled children out of burning homes. He carries trauma that would make most people break, but he never talks about it. Why? Because when he gets home, his partner picks fights about small things. Why he forgot to call, why he left his shoes at the door. There's no emotional refuge, only more noise. Eventually, Daniel starts staying later at work, volunteering for more shifts. He isn't cheating, he's escaping the one place that should have been his haven. Ladies, you need to hear this. The way to a man's soul is not just through love, it's through peace. He will stay loyal to the woman who brings him calm in a chaotic world, the one who knows when to speak and when to simply hold space, the one who makes his home feel like rest, not war. As the ancient Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu once said, silence is a source of great strength. And in that silence, when a man feels safe, not judged, not criticized, but seen and accepted, he opens up. He begins to trust. He begins to love fully. Men do not crave relationships filled with tension, nagging, or games. What they want is emotional safety. A space where their vulnerability isn't used against them. A relationship where they can drop the armor without being wounded. This is why so many men fall for the soft woman, the calm, emotionally grounded one. Not because she's passive, but because her presence soothes. She knows how to regulate her emotions, how to communicate without attacking, how to listen without interrupting. And men, don't let the world convince you that peace is a luxury. It's a standard. You weren't born to live in emotional war zones. If she brings more stress than strength, it's time to protect your inner world. Remember this, a man's love grows where his soul feels safe. A woman who becomes his peace will always have a place in his heart. So ask yourself, does your relationship give you peace? And ladies, do you give your man a reason to come home early or stay out late? Comment below. What does emotional peace mean to you in a relationship? Have you ever felt like your silence was misunderstood? Chapter 3. The need to be accepted, not fixed, not changed. If there is one truth men rarely say out loud, it's this. I want to be loved for who I am, not for who I could become if I changed for you. In a world where men are constantly told to do more, be more, earn more, feel less, and suppress more, the deepest craving inside him is for a relationship where he doesn't have to audition for love. A space where he is accepted, fully, flaws and all. Here's the reality. Most men are tired of being projects. They're tired of being almost good enough. Tired of partners who treat them like raw material that needs to be refined into someone else's ideal image of a man. We live in a culture that is quick to label a man toxic for his rough edges, his moments of silence, or his guarded heart. But beneath that roughness, many of these men carry unspeakable wounds, childhood abandonment, father wounds, heartbreaks they've never spoken of. And all they want is to be seen and not judged. Let's make this real with a story. There was a man named Elijah. 32 years old, blue-collar worker, dependable, disciplined, not flashy, not loud. He had been in a relationship for 3 years with a woman who constantly compared him to her friend's more ambitious boyfriend. She would say things like, "Why don't you go back to school like him? You should dress better. You'd be more attractive if you were more assertive." Little by little, Elijah stopped speaking up. He started avoiding deep conversations. Not because he didn't care, but because he realized no version of him was ever going to be enough for her. And here's the painful truth. When a man senses he is being loved only conditionally, he will detach emotionally, even if he stays physically. Because men don't want a partner who critiques their soul. They want one who celebrates their essence. It's like the wisdom of the old Greek philosopher Epictetus, who said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." But how can a man master himself if every relationship tells him he needs to become someone else to be loved? True connection begins when a man hears the words, "I love how your mind works. I'm proud of who you are, even if no one else sees it. You don't need to prove anything to me." Those words heal generations of silence. And ladies, understand this. A man will only reveal his deepest truth to the woman who makes him feel safe to be exactly who he is. Not the woman who tries to reshape him like clay, but the one who admires the sculpture already formed by his journey. To accept a man doesn't mean you agree with everything he does. It means you value the intention behind his actions. You see the man beneath the armor. And that vision, that grace, makes you unforgettable. Men, hear this clearly. You are not a project. You are not a potential. You are a person. The right relationship will honor your wholeness, not just your utility. Stop chasing people who only love the idea of you. Choose the one who respects the real version, even when you're tired, even when you're figuring it out. Because when a man is accepted, he thrives. He becomes more grounded, more open, more loyal. Not because he was forced to change, but because love inspired him to evolve. So ask yourself, do you feel fully accepted in your relationship? Or are you constantly bending just to keep the peace? Comment below. What does unconditional acceptance mean to you? Have you ever felt like someone only loved you for your potential, not your present? Chapter 4. To be understood, the legacy of a man's heart. A man spends most of his life trying to be strong for others, his family, his woman, his children, even strangers. He works in silence, loves in silence, and hurts in silence. He might not say much, but he hopes, desperately, that someone understands him without needing him to explain. Not just what he does, but why he does it. His quiet acts of love, his stubborn moments of withdrawal, his tired gaze at the end of a long day. Behind every one of those actions is a man hoping to be seen beneath the surface. What men ultimately want in a relationship isn't just physical intimacy or even peace and respect. It's to be understood, deeply, spiritually. To be with someone who not only accepts him, but who also tries to truly know him. Let's talk about legacy. Not in the way society defines it with wealth, titles, or achievements, but in the emotional imprint a man leaves behind. A man doesn't just want to be remembered for what he did, he wants to be remembered for who he was by the one person who truly saw him. Let's reflect on this with an example. There was a man named Malik, hardworking, disciplined, emotionally reserved. His wife, Layla, used to say, "You never say I love you." But she never noticed how Malik would fix the door before it squeaked, refill her gas tank before it hit empty, or sit in silence beside her when she was in pain. When Malik passed unexpectedly in his 50s, his daughter stood at the funeral and said, "My father didn't say much." But everything he did was love in action. He was the kind of man you felt safest with, even when he said nothing at all. And Layla broke down in tears because she finally understood. She had love in her hands all those years, but never knew its language. Men don't always express love the way women want, but that doesn't mean it's not there. Their love is in protection, in consistency, in showing up when it's hard, in building, in enduring, and what they hope for is a woman who understands that quiet language. Ancient Stoic wisdom speaks to this. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." And men have lived by this code for centuries. But what many never receive is someone who sees that quiet effort and says, "I see who you are. I understand why you love the way you do." Ladies, listen closely. Understanding a man is the greatest gift you can give him. When he's quiet, don't punish him. Lean in with curiosity. When he struggles to express himself, don't shame him. Create safety. When he gives love through action, don't overlook it. Honor it. And men, your legacy is not just in what you build, it's in who remembers your soul. If you find someone who understands you without needing performance, without needing you to always have the words, cherish her. Because the truth is this: even the strongest man wants one person to understand his silence, to read the story behind his tired eyes, to remind him that he is more than his duties, more than his responsibilities, that he is a man with a soul worthy of love. The world often teaches men that they are disposable unless they produce, protect, or perform. But in the sacred bond of a relationship, a man wants to feel that he matters, not for what he does, but for who he is. To be loved is beautiful. To be respected is powerful. To find peace is rare. But to be understood, that is immortal. So ask yourself this, my brother: do you feel truly understood? Not by the world, but by the one you love. And ladies, have you taken the time to learn the quiet language of his love? Comment below. Have you ever been with someone who truly understood your soul? Or are you still searching for that sacred connection? If this video spoke to something deep within you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the Stoic Golden Tribe, where we speak the truths that society silences. Drop a comment below and let us know, what do you believe men truly want in a relationship? We read everyone. Your voice matters here. Until next time, stand tall, love deeply, and never forget that your truth has power.